Something different for the channel today. We're going to Vault City and their modern sours, and this is Raspberry Clouds. It is raspberry, almond, cinnamon and vanilla with dry hop with citra. 6.2%. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to Vault City up in Edinburgh in Bonnie, Scotland for this, rather summery sounding drink. It's called Raspberry Clouds. We've got raspberry, almond, cinnamon and vanilla, and it's also dry hop with citra. It's always a weird one. You don't see like normal traditional hops in a lot of these sour beers. So I'm interested in what that's going to bring, how that's going to make it different. It's 6.2%. So let's crack it open, get it in glass and see what it's all about. It's been sitting in my fridge for about a month, this beer. It's one of these sort of beers that I just look at it and think, I want to drink it, but usually then I want to drink other stuff and it just feels like it's too sweet. And then how am I going to drink like other beer with it? I haven't really got my head around how to drink sour beers with other beers. But there we go. Okay, so beer in a glass. Well, as you can see, that is a very sort of dark pink, very, very thick looking, very sort of dark and hazy. We've got literally a finger of sort of like just a pinky white, but fairly compacted, smooth looking head. I reckon this is going to be a pretty smooth, lovely looking, it's a lovely looking beer. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely tasting beer. Let's check out the aroma. Ooh, well, there's lots going on here. You're getting the raspberry, but the almond is quite a strong aroma. Then you get that cinnamon. It's a bit like a Danish pastry, really. You know those sort of Danish pastries where they have that sort of like a jammy raspberry or strawberry sort of jam stuff in them. It's a bit like that. I'm not picking up much in the way of vanilla. Obviously the raspberry in there, it's definitely a sort of red fruit that you can smell. But almond and cinnamon are the two big things. Not really getting much of citra. I'm not sure what that's going to do to this beer, but it smells good, and I reckon it's going to be a tasty one. So, cheers, everyone. Ooh, ooh, nice little kick of sourness, sweetness. You get all that sort of raspberry flavour really up front. And then what's left in terms of on the palate really is the cinnamon and the almond. And it is like a liquid sort of Danish pastry a little bit. The almond and the cinnamon, like the aroma, it's quite potent in the flavour. And the sourness is there with the raspberry sour brings up. I think you get the sourness kick from the raspberry, and it's quite an immediate sort of kick of sourness. And then, as you say, the flavour sort of develops on the back end, and you're getting all those sort of the spices of cinnamon and all that sort of stuff, and almond as well. What was the other thing? It's got vanilla in it as well, isn't it? I'm not really picking up much in terms of vanilla. Mouthfeel wise, it's medium body. It's like a smoothie. It's creamy. I suppose you're getting a slight bit of that vanilla from the creaminess, but I'm not quite sure what dry hopping it with citra does. It doesn't make it much different than a lot of Vault City sour beers. It doesn't make it more beery, if that makes sense. There is a slight sort of, I suppose there is a slight citrusy twang, that raspberry flavour. You get all that fruit of raspberry. And then there's a slight development of flavour there. You could almost say there's a little bit of sharpness, whether that's the sourness and then a bit of sharpness coming in. I don't know if the citra's doing that, but that's the only thing I can really think of. But it is all about, a lot of the things with Vault City, you read them and you think this is a crazy lot of ingredients. Raspberry, almond, cinnamon, vanilla. You think, I can't taste like all of those, but it tastes like all of them. Raspberry definitely right up front. Then you get the kick of sourness. Then you get the almond and cinnamon flavours. And then there's a creamy sort of vanilla flavour. I wouldn't say it's a flavour. It's almost like the vanilla is almost there as a sort of very subtle in the background, but it's more, you get it more from the fact that it's, the mouthfeel is sort of quite creamy, so you get a little bit of hit of vanilla. I'd say the vanilla is a little lacking, but there's so much other flavours going on, it probably is a good thing. But it's another incredible beer from the Modern Sour Masters, Vault City. Is it the best I've had? I think there's just too much sharpness on it. I mean, I think ultimately, if you like the ingredients, then you'll like it. I mean, it sounds a bit obvious, but I think sometimes the flavours, there's a lot of flavour going on here. The raspberry's very tart. And I'd almost say for a Vault City beer, it's up there with some of the most tart, sour flavours, which you don't always get with the sour with Vault City stuff. They're a bit smoother. The sourness is very subtle, but it's a little bit more upfront with this beer. So if you like that, I mean, there's a lot of people that say, oh yeah, there's not enough sourness in a sour beer, which, you know, sounds weird, but, you know, I think Vault City are sort of masters at just getting more out of beer than just keep hitting you that sour flavour. But there's more sourness with this beer. Obviously, the 6.2%, it's like drinking a smoothie, you know, you'd never even know there was alcohol in this beer. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's quite refreshing as well, I suppose. Lots of raspberries, definitely heavy upfront raspberry flavour. It's good. I don't think it's up there with some of the best I've had from Vault City. It's just a very good beer. Okay, let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Raspberry Clouds. This is a Vault City brew. It's a modern sour beer, and we've got raspberry, almond, cinnamon, vanilla, and dry hop with citra. I wonder what it would have been like if it wasn't dry hop with citra, because I'm getting a little twang, and I don't know if that's the citra or what that is. I'm not sure what it really brings, but let me know if you've had this beer, what you think of it. Let me know in the comments. Really interesting, because I don't do many sour beers, so I'd like to get a bit more feedback on some of the sour beer reviews that we do. But let's go through the scores, starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money. I'm not quite sure how much I paid for this, but it's usually probably near round about the £6 mark. 6.2%. It's not like an 8-9% one, but I think it's around that sort of mark. £6, maybe a bit more than £6. And finally, my overall experience. Top the scores up. Well, it's a very recommended beer, and it is a recommended score. Total score. Yeah, it's a White Snake beer. You slide it in, slow and easy, because you're not really getting that alcohol flavour, the 6.2%. So you could do a lot of damage if you drink a lot of these. But I don't think you'd want to drink more than one, because there is that hit of sourness. There's a sweetness and sweet and sour almost in there. And, you know, having another beer like that, I think you'd start getting a bit more sickly. I don't know. Any sour fans out there that would spend all night drinking sour beers? Crazy people, I would say. But, you know, there's got to be some people that really like these flavours. I mean, they probably like these because they don't really like IPAs or lager or anything like that. They like this because it's all sweet and fruity. Let me know in the comments if you're one of those people. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Obviously, we don't do many sour beers. They're a little bit more expensive, and as I said, trying to slot them in with beers when I drink them overnight, it's just, I can't get my head around it really. Drinking a sour and then an IPA, or an IPA then a sour, I don't know, it doesn't quite work for me. All those mixing and matching with very distinct and different flavours. But and that's why I don't review as much. But I know that they've got a carrot cake sour, which sounds incredible. But I might get that. I don't know. We'll see. But let me know if you've had that or any recent Vault City beers. Again, give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. And until the next one, you know what you're going to do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.